I am DYANAROZAY, and I bring a unique commentary to your favorite reality TV shows and whatever is popping on social media. If you are not a subscriber, please become one. Hit that notification bell too, that way you don't miss any of my videos. I go by DYANAROZAY on all platforms, and I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. What's up, Supreme Team? Welcome to the channel. It's your girl, DYANAROZAY, and I'm here to bring you guys the latest review for Belle Collective. So welcome, come on in, everybody. I don't know if you can hear me, so let me know if you can, please and thank you. Come on in, come on in. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm waiting for my sister to come in. Okay. All right, girl. Just wanted to know. All right, so we're going to get into it because I know that everybody is trying to figure out where to go, who to be. Grown folks don't know how to handle themselves. They're being told who to follow, who to talk to, who not to talk to. Child, I'll be so happy when people act the color of their hair. When people act the color of their hair, okay? Because this is some bullshit. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let's see. All right. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, Mendel. Okay, so here we are. So I just want to say this for me because I know that everybody's trying to figure out whose team you want to be on. Y'all know I'm not in that bullshit, even though I had a lot of people unfollow me over the last couple of days. I'm okay with you unfollowing me because, in my opinion, bloggers' jobs is to give our opinions. Sometimes people will like it, sometimes they won't. Sometimes you talk about people's faves, sometimes you don't. But the bullshit that happens in the aftermath, the bullying, the harassment, the other things is like no other. So I'm okay with people unfollowing me because I don't know who's cool, who's normal in the head and who isn't. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day. If that makes sense to people. At the end of the day, people literally don't know any of the people that they see on TV. You just think you do. And sometimes people get way too involved, way too in their feelings, and they do horrible shit to people, to their businesses, to all kinds of stuff. So I don't appreciate that stuff. I didn't even have an opinion. I got unfollowed, I'm assuming by association, but I'm cool with that. I would rather you unfollow me because you don't, whatever the reasons are, please do. Please do. I would rather you do that than harass me or act like I can't speak to who I want to speak to, engage who I want to engage, be on whoever's channel I want to be on. I would rather you do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I am so good and grown. And I assume, based on, the back room information, I assume that the people in the back room are grown too. But it is what it is. The side I choose is my side. I choose my side. But listen, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Let's move on, child. All I'm saying is just keep the bullshit from over here. So let's talk about Glen and Tisha real quick. Okay, so Glen and Tisha, you guys, it opens up with Glen and Tisha over there at Miss Carrie's birthday party. And Glen got up and read off a poem based on the whole Love Jones theme. So he did a poem and he ended up telling Tisha afterward that he loved her and he wanted to know if she loved him back. Okay, if she loved him back. And Tisha paused so hard that people had to stop themselves from laughing out loud. Like the entire Belle, all of the Belles were sitting in a circle. All of the Belles were sitting in a circle like, is this bitch gonna say I love you back? Like the smiles on their face, especially Tambra. Tambra was about to crack up. Who else? Selena was about to crack up. I think Latrice started looking at her phone like, this happens every other week. I am so sick and tired of Glen and Letitia. I don't know what to do. But that type of shit is real life. Like when people are warring with each other, when you are warring with your spouse and you bring that shit out into the open, into the public, now you got everybody else like, what is going on, right? And for some, it's a spectacle. You can have your drink and enjoy. But for others, it's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing, right? So anyway, she finally gets it out of her mouth. I love you, right? I love you, even though people were laughing. And then she pulls Glen aside because she's like, Glen, don't put me on the spot with this shit, especially with people I don't fool with. All of these people are the same bodies that you embarrassed me the first time in front of, okay, with Mandy Pandy. All of those people were sitting right here in a circle, very similar to this one, when you embarrassed me the first time because you was tweeting that girl or whatever, texting, sending DMs, and now you have them back in our business because you want me to say I love you to you in this setting, right? So this is what she's saying off camera, actually. She says this in her confessional. I don't appreciate Glen putting our business back out here. Why can't we just be here? Why can't we just be? But in confessional, but at the party, she pulls Glen aside and she has her hands on his shoulders. And she was like, I don't want you to think that I don't appreciate you. Because I do appreciate you. And he goes, well, damn, act like it. You didn't like the poem? She was like, yeah, I liked it. I just don't want us to do anything in public that we're not doing at home right now, right? So she tells him that, and he makes a face. Hold on, let me take these glasses off, y'all. He makes a face like, what the fuck does that mean? True. What does it mean, right? So he gives her a look like, what does that mean? And in his confessional, he says, listen, my wife is the queen of mixed signals, okay? He said, if Letitia was a traffic light, there would be a 50-car pileup. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say to her, whether we're in the house or outside at this point. I don't know where are we? What are we doing? Okay. Anyway, after all of that, listen, I actually think that this is an honest storyline only because I don't think that Glen and Tisha are that good of an actor. In fact, I don't think any of them are that good of an actor. I think there's a real rift in the friendships and in that relationship. I do think that. Hey, Direese, welcome, girlfriend. Nice to have you. But yeah, so he said, listen, I don't know who to be to my wife right now, whether we're in public or outside. She's telling me that she wants me to choose her. She's telling me that she wants for people to know that I love her, that I respect her, that she's the only one, right? But she won't give me the opportunity to do that. And that's just what it is. You got to earn her trust back. You that relationship up. Okay, sir? All right. So what else happens? So now we have a little round table with just the Belles, right? And Tisha lets everybody know that she is having her annual Friendsgiving. She said, I'm having my annual Friendsgiving and all the Belles are invited, including the ones that's not even my damn friend, okay? That's you, Latrice. But she said, everybody's invited. I'm not going to exclude anybody, okay? Thank you, girlfriend. I appreciate you. Miss Eva, she said, thank you for doing great reviews. Love your channel. And I love you too, friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you for blessing me and blessing the channel. So anyway, she tells everybody that they're invited and they're all kind of sitting there because they know Latrice is the odd person out, right? So I think it's Marie. Marie loves to get shit started. Y'all know that. So after she gives this open invite, Marie looks down at Latrice and she's like, so Latrice, are you going to go to Friendsgiving? And Latrice was as smooth as I don't know what. She did a pause like, and she goes, I don't know. But she said it in a way like, I'm definitely not. But she just was like, bitch, we can both play games. I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna go. Okay. I'm gonna try to keep the peace here, but I'll have to think about that one. All right. Anyway, after that happens, Shantae. So y'all know Shantae is Letitia's friend, and Shantae comes over, I don't know why, and she ends up putting her finger over in Latrice's face. They're a good distance away from each other, but she's like, I got a question for you, Latrice. And Latrice is like, I don't even know this girl. We don't talk. I barely know her. The most I know about her is that she is a minion of Letitia, right? But she said, I got a question for you. Do you have any regrets for what you did to your friend, how you handled the situation with Letitia? And she's referring to Mandy at her birthday party, right? So she's like, what's up, Buttercup? Why would you allow that lady to do that to your friend? And do you have any regrets? And do you think you owe her an apology? And she's really trying to go in on her. And Latrice held her own. She was like, listen, I don't know you. I don't owe you shit. You're a friend of Letitia. That's it. But outside of that, I don't owe you a thing. Okay. And I'm not going to answer anything, any question you have for me. Now, this is a significant scene, and I'm going to tell you why. Because y'all remember, both on the show and on the reunion, and I think maybe even on some of the lives, Letitia said, anytime a new person comes on the show, they come for me, right? Anytime a new person comes on this show, they come for me. I'm the person to come to or go after to make their mark. And she said, so when she was saying that, when we see Shantae doing that, we know Shantae is basically doing an Uno reverse on Latrice. Like, well, if she brought her friend on to come after her, I'm the new girl in town and I'm going after your ass, okay? So that's the game she plays. But Tisha does not like it. And in the scene, even if you're not paying attention, if Latrice wasn't paying attention, Letitia looks over at her friend like, bitch, why would you do that? Why would you do that? You don't talk for me, right? You said Shantae was being a friend. But yeah, she gives her a look like, don't do that, right? But Latrice never looks over there. She's paying Letitia dust. So Letitia gets dust, and she is doing a good job at giving Shantae dust too, because Shantae didn't get her big one off like she wanted to. All she did was really embarrass her friend even more, because if she was taking notes, she would have saw that her friend just a few moments ago couldn't even tell her husband good that she loved him back, and then pulled his ass aside to say, don't do that. Don't do that in this setting. So that's not something she wanted to happen, in my opinion. And I don't think her friend read her properly. Okay. Let's see. No one mentions how Letitia and Marie were trying to fight Latrice at the reunion. Okay, listen, Janice, you just mentioned it. You might mention it every time I do this, every time I do this review. But yes, that is something that people keep bringing up, that at the end of the day, it was Marie and Letitia who came for Latrice back in the day, right? I think that might have been the season when Clifford, Woodstock himself had yanked off the microphone off her back. Was that the season? Let me know. Where he yanked the microphone off of her and threw it. And he said, bitch, don't play with me. He called his wife the B word, and he yanked her up by her arm. If that's the same season, let me know. Because I know that there was maybe a few seasons where they were giving her business about her relationship with Woodstock. Anyway, I don't think that her friend read her properly, though. I don't think that she wanted her to do it, and I don't think she read her energy properly. But I don't know. Maybe it's some shit they agreed on, because in the next scene, which we're about to give it to, okay? In the next scene, Tisha is having this meeting with about 700 people. It's not really 700, but there's about 10 people at the table and they're all supposed to be her team. Okay. Don't ask me where she gets the money to pay this team. I don't know. This team is wild, right? But all these people are at the table and they are discussing whatever Tisha's next moves in life are. Okay. Her business moves, her talk show moves, all the famous people, the rich and famous connections that these people have to put Letitia on the map. This I'm not understanding as much, child. Usually people have like one manager who puts you in contact with a few other folks, but this lady has a whole trough of people sitting at this table right now, and they're telling her how she's about to be big, how they have all these different connections, and how they're going to help her be on the map, right? And she's like, I love to hear it. I love to hear it. You know, it's that type of thing, right? You think that Shantae jumped the gun, wrong timing. Me too. Me too. Anyway, Shantae ends up walking into the meeting. I guess toward the end, but she comes in, she has her sit down, and Letitia is like, hey, Shantae, okay, well, I'm glad you're here. We're going to wrap this up now to everybody else. We're going to wrap this up, and I'm going to walk you all out, and Shantae, you sit right there. Now, that alone would have been enough for me. Personally, don't chastise me in front of people like that. Shantae, you sit right there and I'm gonna walk everybody out. I don't know why Shantae didn't understand that better, because you can tell from her face that Letitia is good for giving grown folks a little finger wag, right? But when she comes back in, that's exactly what she does. She gives her a finger wag and she says, listen, what you did at that party, you shouldn't have done, right? And she was like, I'm grown. I can fight for myself. I don't do that. And while she's doing all this shit, Shantae is kind of like, I get it. I wasn't trying to, talk for you. I was asking for my own self, right? Because you can tell right now there's two different ways of thinking that's happening here, right? Shantae is probably like, bitch, the way you was talking to me about Latrice, about Mandy, trying to make me think they hurt you, they hurt your marriage. You don't know if your kid's son, your son's father is going to be in your house tomorrow. So as your friend, I did what I thought I should do. That's what's rolling in her head. Whereas Tisha was given more of a camera moment. Listen, this is chess, not checkers. And I know Latrice. I know how dirty she is. I know that once you tell her something, because her image is everything, she's going to leave that party and she's going to start thinking about all the stuff. And then she's going to get with her friends. And now I got to sit like a sitting duck and wait for what she's going to do to me. So she's basically giving her all the business. And after a while, Shantae was trying to defend herself, but after a while, she just has this smile on her face like, okay, bitch. Okay. And really what she's probably wants to do is wring her neck, because I was trying to help you, and this is my second time on the show, or the third time on the show, and you embarrassed the hell out of me. Okay, so this whole thing was about you being embarrassed, and you just embarrassed the hell out of me. So I know that if they're real friends, Shantae, I'm hoping she did anyway. Don't do that to me. You could have took a different approach. She tried to be nice, nasty about it. Did y'all catch that? Because maybe I was the only one who saw it. But she tried to be nice, nasty about it, and I didn't like it. Yeah, she did give a here comes the BS. She did give a here comes the BS, because I was like, you're going to have to use that tone and that finger for Glen, not for me, child. You cried on my shoulder, and I did what I thought I should do as your friend. And if it didn't work out, if that's not what you wanted, You should have, it was a different way to approach that. Maybe not on camera, even if you wanted to say, listen, I appreciate what you tried to do for me, but girl, you know what I'm saying? Latrice is a different kind of beast, okay? But what to take from that scene was that Letitia is calling Latrice a snake. She's basically saying she's a dirty bum. She's a bitch, right? And she's somebody, I know who she is, which is interesting because they're both talking about each other in the same exact way. And it's more interesting because birds of a feather flock together. Y'all was calling each other big sis, baby sis, you know what I'm saying? We treat each other like family, and now all of a sudden you're afraid about what the other one is going to do to you because you know they know how you move, right? But that was an interesting little scene. Someone said, I caught it. I didn't like it either. She said, no, I didn't catch it. You didn't catch it? Okay, cool. Hey, lies, more lies. And this is why Latrice didn't need to tell Tisha anything else. She will attack you versus her husband. They teamed up against Aikisha. Child. Well, they teaming up against each other now. So this is how it's playing out. And there's a lot of people who like Aikisha, and there's a lot of people who don't like Aikisha. Some people thought that Aikisha was just a little, that she wasn't good for the show. What actually started the Aikisha thing between, it was Aikisha and Latrice, right? Did it have to do with their husbands? Right, it had to do with their husbands. Never mind, I remember. Okay. Anyway, at the end of it, Shantae apologizes and she ended up just taking the chastising. But at the end of the day, I think that Letitia did too much. Okay, now we are moving on. Now Latrice has a lunch with Selena and Amanda, okay? Mandy Pandy. So y'all know, it looks like Amanda is going to be on the show for at least a couple of seasons, maybe, as a friend. Who knows? They might incorporate her as a full Belle next time. But she's on the show. She's making another appearance. I was curious about this because she was out talking about the show ahead of it airing. She had already interviewed and discussed it. But here she is as a friend of the show talking to her good friend Latrice. And Latrice is introducing her as a possible permanent, right? She says, listen, Amanda is an amazing woman, businesswoman, amazing mother, amazing friend. There's more to her than just her being in Glen's DMs. Just in case y'all missed that shit. She was like, the Glen's DM thing, let's move on. I don't care about that. She is actually somebody that people should get to know. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she talked her into filming again. I was actually surprised to see her. But yeah, when she introduced her, just know she introduced her as, listen, we need to learn these other things about her and F the Glen part, right? So she says that. That's why this is interesting, because they're doing this dual friend thing, Shantae versus Mandy. Anyway, this is where we also find out that Woodstock is in Colombia. He's in Colombia doing God knows what. I don't know how old Cliff is, but what are you doing down there, sir? Okay, they'll bring you back in a bag. There's a couple of people that's gone to Colombia and came back in a bag. I think Joe Jackson is one. Who's the dude who made Boys in the Hood? The producer. He's another person who went down to Colombia and didn't make it back. Didn't make it back, okay? Whoever that producer is, y'all know who I'm talking about. Anyway, he's down there, and apparently Latrice doesn't know what happens down there in the Columbia area. So the girls are filling her in. Like, first Selena said, damn, he was trying to get Mike to go down there. He was trying to get Mike to go down there. Bachelor pad. What? And she was like, I thank God he didn't, because that's a no. And then they start asking all the ladies, all the Belles, get a confessional where they are asked directly, would you allow your man to go to Colombia? And everybody's like, hell no, no, no. They're not even at the lunch, and they were able to answer that. They were able to answer that question. Anyway, after that, Latrice gets, I guess, a little concerned. So she calls him at the table while the girls are sitting there. Latrice is like, boop, 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 okay? And she was like, I heard you down there cheating on me. I heard you down there with another woman cheating on me. And he's like, never that. Absolutely not. And she was like, well, that's what the girl said. He said, well, you better get them Belles together, okay? Get them damn Belles together, because I'm not doing that. I got my wedding ring on. And when he hangs up the phone, both Selena and Mandy said, that wedding ring don't mean shit. That wedding ring don't mean anything to them girls. It was John Singleton. John Singleton came back gone, okay? Anyway, Latrice says in her confessional that she is not worried about Clifford cheating on her, okay? She said he'll never find another Latrice, but I'll find another Clifton tomorrow, okay? Cliff was lying, and both of them knew it. Cliff was lying, and both of them knew it. She said, I'll find another Clifton, but he won't find another me. So he better be minding his P's and Q's. Again, interesting storyline, because we all remember last season, it was Mandy who was asking Latrice every scene, did you talk to him about that apartment yet? Did you talk to him about that apartment yet? Girl, you gonna tell his ass to go home or not? So for her to have this conversation yet again with Mandy, because Mandy's like, girl, you act like you don't know nothing about what Cliff is doing, child. Come on in. Hit the like button, please, and thank you. After that, Selena ends up talking about her birthday party. She's having a 50th birthday party. And she said, baby, everybody's invited. I know some of y'all don't get along, but Mandy's coming. Shantae's coming. Letitia has been invited, and you have been invited as well, Latrice. I expect everybody to be there on that grown-ass woman and figure out how to get along. And Latrice said, no, that won't be happening. Okay. She said, Selena said, is there any way you could just be the bigger person, take the higher road? She said, no, because I'm always the bigger person when it comes to Letitia. Anytime we squash the beef, it's because I'm the bigger person. I will not be the bigger person in this situation. And then she also said, the other problem with this is Letitia is dirty, okay? She is dirty AF, and she tells her that she got word from one of her ex-employees, Josh. Y'all remember Josh? She said, I got word from my ex-employees that Tisha reached out to him looking for dirt on her. Take the poll at the top of the chat. Take the poll at the top of the chat, okay? And then Selena says, so I'm going to have to play Mama Bear now. Y'all know I like to play the Mama Bear. Why don't you just go to Friendsgiving, just show up and just extend an olive branch so we can move past this? And she said, I will not be at Friendsgiving, okay? You can forget it, period. I wouldn't trust shit Josh say. Anyway, and she did what ish? 2 lies, more lies. But she said, no, I'm not doing it anymore with her. And that's basically how the scene ends. And then we are at Friendsgiving, okay? I actually really like this episode. I'm going to give it a solid 10. I really liked how production did all the scenes. It was pretty seamless. But we are at Friendsgiving now, and all the Belles are arriving. All the Belles except for Latrice. She said she wasn't coming, and she did not go. What she did do is give Tambra these fake yellow flowers, and I do mean fake, okay? And she put them in a vase and everything. It might have been fake water in the vase, but they were yellow flowers, and y'all know that yellow flowers symbolize friendship. So fake flowers, fake friendship, okay? This is how on top of it my girl Latrice was. Fake flowers, fake ass friendship, yellow flowers to be exact. And she told Tambra, take them damn flowers in there and you make sure you give them to Tisha. And she was like, I don't know if Tambra knew. She had to know because Tambra's smart. Tambra is a smart cookie. Yes. So she said, well, she had this big smile on her face when she did it too. Well, Latrice isn't here, but she did ask me to bring these flowers to you. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, girl, you knew what those flowers meant. Anyway, it was symbolism. Fake flowers, fake ass friends. So you can take these yellow ass flowers, these yellow fake flowers, right? And Tambra gives this lady this flowers like I'm so disconnected. I can't connect these dots, right? And then Letitia actually shocked me. She takes the flowers and she actually starts grinning like from ear to ear. She is smiling because for a half a second, she was like, oh, she gave me flowers. The way she grabs the flowers from her, I was just like, Letitia, it's shade. And then she realizes that they're fake. And she goes, well, they came from the Dollar Tree. Okay, I guess she got her big one off. No, baby, you're missing the symbolism. Yellow flower, friendship, fake friend. Listen, it's not going to get past me, though. It's not going to get past me. Anyway, after all of that, Shantae comes over and she ends up apologizing to Carrie because she says to Carrie, I started some shit at your birthday and I'm really, really sorry about that. Okay. You won't get that out of me anymore. And Carrie says, I accept your apology. Okay. And then we have Marie. Marie comes in, child, badass Marie. Marie is good for a new outfit every time they are on that screen. But she comes in this leopard dress. It's a cape style dress. Okay. With the arm out. It's like a little cut at the sleeve. So you can tell it's a cape. Baby came in like, bitch, I'm going to outdress everybody. I would think that Letitia would call Marie and ask her what she's wearing before she shows up at your event and outdresses you, child. Anyway, look, y'all said she's not using me to send no message. Listen, I don't know. I don't know who noticed and who didn't, but Letitia didn't notice. That's what's funny because some shit's about to happen in the next scene. We'll get there though. Anyway, yeah, so Marie comes in with this damn leopard dress, this suit, and it's a built-in cape. And baby came in with them finger waves in, looking like a modern day Betty Boop. And when she comes in, I think it's Shantae who says, "Oh, where's Cedric? Are y'all still together?" And she looks at her like, why the hell every time I walk up in the place, y'all always asking me about my business? Is there ever, y'all got anything else to talk about? And then Carrie takes ownership. She was like, well, I did tell them that I think that you and Sid may have broken up, right? I think that y'all may have broken up. And she was like, who in the hell told you that we broke up? Like, where does this come from? And Carrie said, well, when I asked you at my birthday party, you said some things, bitch. And I read between the lines, okay? So to me, from what you said, I took it as y'all broke up. And then Marie looks over at Shantae and says, yes, we're not together. Okay. However, Carrie is not my PR. Okay. And then they have a good laugh about it. I think I'm going to enjoy the Marie and Carrie friendship, their little back and forth. I like it. I think they have a real good energy together. And I like that Marie likes to order pizzas at Carrie's events. I like the shade. It's good. It's good. Y'all took the poll. Cool. Anyway, after she says all of that, Everybody ends up sitting down to eat. And of course, it's Friendsgiving. So they have to talk about friendship and what friendship means to them as a collective. And they end up asking, I think it was either, who was it that gave the speech? Was it Selena? I don't remember. Somebody gives a speech about friendship and when friends break up, that kind of thing, and how you miss those people too, right? Those people are still a part of your life. They still shaped you. Um, some of those things. Anyway, Carrie better leave Marie alone. Anyway, after all of that, they end up asking Miss Letitia if she missed Latrice. Do you miss Latrice? Letitia actually felt a little, you could tell that the speech hurt her heart a little bit. And she was like, you've made some good points. And then the camera production starts showing scenes of her and Latrice hugging and laughing and all their past, interactions. And in confessional, Letitia says, I do miss Latrice. I miss her. You know what I'm saying? It's weighing on my heart. Friendships are hard. They're just as hard as marriages. She's getting all that shit out there. And then in another confessional, because remember, Latrice isn't here. So production asked Latrice in a whole separate confessional, girl, do you miss Letitia? And do you have anything to say about your friendship with Letitia? And Latrice put them same fake ass flowers. This is a new set though, on the couch where she was supposed to be sitting, and she was gone. All she had was some same fake yellow flowers sitting on the couch, and you heard crickets playing. And she was like, the producer's like, Latrice, are you here? Latrice was gone. You heard the door close and you heard crickets. Listen, I'm loving I like petty production sometimes, but Latrice said, I'm not entertaining this shit. She apologizes to me, and maybe I'll consider it, because let's not pretend like we did not see Latrice apologize to Letitia. She had that moment when they were wherever they were, where she started crying, and she told her, look, I want you to know I did not set you up, right? Production admitted that she didn't write the questions. Production admitted that we did it. They said that on the reunion stage. Y'all know how production work. Y'all know how it works. So if you know how production works, and you know that sometimes they're going to get shit started so that y'all can get this show and y'all can get y'all money, sometimes you got to let bygones be bygones. And right now, Letitia's standing pretty firm in making Latrice the problem. So Latrice said, bitch, if you've been given all the information and you know it's your man that's the problem, why am I trying to figure out how to be the bigger person? That's absolutely not. I already broke down. We saw her. She did. She broke down. Tears, snot, the whole nine. I already broke down and told you I wanted to make things better. I wanted to take the baby steps if that's what you needed. But you told me, bitch, bye. So, bitch, bye it is, okay? Anyway, that's how that part ended. Now we have a scene with Glen and Matt. So Matt, when he was at the birthday party with his wife, Carrie, he all of a sudden wants to play big brother to Glen. I don't know why. He doesn't know enough about Glen to play. Maybe he does, because when Carrie came to him and said some shit like she doesn't like Glen or what he did, blah, 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 I remember him saying, stay out of them people's business. Stay out of them people's business. You and I aren't perfect. Okay. We got some shit of our own that we don't want out here. I remember thinking, that Matt is, I think I like that Matt, okay? But at the party, he said, listen, if I said I loved you to Carrie and Carrie hesitated or didn't say it back, me and her would have problems. So now all of a sudden he's leaning to Glen's side and wants to play big brother to Glen. And I'm shocked. I am very shocked by this part. I was not expecting that. But anyway, he says, they're playing basketball, and then after Matt beats Glen's ass, okay, in the basketball game, they sit down to have a little one-on-one, okay? And Matt is like, listen, I can tell you trying real hard with your wife to gain her forgiveness, instead of asking questions like, well, man, how did you even get here? Okay, because that's the first question. Is this the first time, the seventh time, the 200th time? How did you get here? Right? But he's just like, I understand your pain, and hell, marriage is hard. And then he kind of make it out like him and Carrie is hanging on by a string. He said something a little snarky, like, yeah, me and Carrie lucky to be here. I know, it's hard to read her. And I was like, that's not what you want. You don't want to compare yourself to Glen. You just don't. Glen is in his own lane. You need to leave him there. Okay, because right now, Matt, I got my eyes on you, sir. I thought you was different, but it looks like you might be the same. Anyway, he ends up giving him some advice about mainly just saying marriage is hard, and I see how hard you're working, and if you need somebody to talk to, cool. But this could also, I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace, because I know that he is also a counselor to I guess ex-athletes or something. So maybe this is just I'm trying to hold you up a little bit so that we can get into harder conversations. That could be the possibility. Okay. That could be a possibility. But he gets through it all, and he was like, I really appreciate you, man. This is Glen. I really appreciate you, man, because I don't know what to think. You know what I'm saying? She doing to at home. She don't want me to talk to her. She want me to touch her. I can't do it, in public. My family is all I got. That's all I got. Now's the time as a man to say, well, if that's all you got, act like it, motherfucker. Act like that's all you got, okay? What you don't do is put that at risk. But he doesn't say that. But like I said, maybe, because Matt does look like he is a straight shooter, maybe he's just, softening the pot so that he can have a different conversation with him later, which I respect. I respect if that's what he's doing. But he lets him get it all out. And he tells him, you can lean on my shoulder anytime. And he says, I appreciate that, man, because that's who Woodstock used to be to me. Okay. I used to be able to call Cliff and, tell him my problems, but I can't even talk to Cliff no more. And then Matt says, well, maybe you should try to work things out with him. And he goes, oh, I can't even talk to him because Latrice don't want us talking. Well, didn't you say you didn't want to talk to Latrice and that you didn't want to talk to Cliff? I am so confused by Glen right now. You were the one who pulled your wife aside, put her in that little ass. I don't even know where y'all were. It felt like it felt like a shoe closet. But weren't you the one in there screaming in your wife's ear that Latrice and Cliff ain't your family no more? And that they tried to split you up from your wife and your family? I am so confused with this about face from Glen. And I am 100% on Latrice's side when she said, you can kick dust. Period. I'm paying you dust and your ass can kick dust. Both. But he is completely being a victim in this conversation with Matt. He's not taking any accountability whatsoever for his actions. It's everybody else's fault. That's what I saw. Letitia, I hope you watched that scene and you saw how your husband handled himself, because that was some bullshit. Okay. But anyway, Matt tells him, you can call me anytime. And what you need to do is maybe just reach out to Cliff, find a way to reach out to Cliff so y'all can mend things with each other. They can't mend things with each other. They can't mend things with each other if that man doesn't take accountability and say exactly how that friendship messed up. You should have never been in that woman's DMs. Period. Okay? Hold on. Let me see what y'all got to say. Let me say Latrice had no problem with production filming Mandy and them DMs. Did not. But didn't feel she needed to tell her friend about it before it got to her. That was wrong. Well, when she has tried to tell her in the past, friend, that didn't go well either. Not to mention the fact that when you are married to a man who, let me say this right here, because I know people don't, sometimes people are approaching this with a different mindset, but you have to realize that a woman who will let a man humiliate her, when a man humiliates you the way Glen has him, there is no bottom. There's no bottom. And so you're not dealing with someone who thinks about stuff rationally, because they've been embarrassed so much. They've been humiliated, not just embarrassed, but shamed and humiliated, that it just goes away. And then everything is everybody else's fault. It's never the two of them. Okay. And once that starts, it never stops. And so for Glen, he's like, well, what did I do this time that was so bad? Because we just took read a DNA test, a DNA test for a child on a reunion stage, right? So when you have a friend like that, I'm going to say this. When you have a friend like that, don't blame me for shit. Don't look to me for anything, because I don't know what day your mind is going to be here. There's no way to drive it. That's a dangerous friendship for everybody involved. But once you have a man who humiliates you the first time, all he's trying to do is figure out how to do it again and again and again. He's going to get to that next low, and you are going to be out here looking crazy. So I'm going to take Latrice, excuse me, off the table. I have thought about this, child. When I was looking at the show this time, I was like, people was giving Latrice a lot. But at the end of the day, that's nobody's fault. Shit, something happened. It was funny. I laughed. Something happened that was funny, and I laughed. It is what it is. Okay. Sometimes that happens. I get that, but I'm going to tell my friend, rather she mad at me or not, because when it comes out, I'm defending myself. Okay. I understand. I think, it's a catch-22. There's no right or wrong. Hey, Erica, there's no right or wrong. It's a catch-22. But in my personal experience, dealing with people who may have found themselves in a situation with a man like that, it's very hard, because they go home to that man, and that man's going to tell them whatever they need to hear in order for them to stay in that house. And usually it means that they can no longer be friends with you, that the person they can't trust is you. And so that can be, it's harmful no matter which way you play it. But I can say what I do know for sure: when a man humiliates you in public, when they humiliate you in public, and you forgive them and it happens again, that's it. Back to back to back to back to back. All it is going to be a whole new low, a whole new bottom. And that's all there is. That's all there is, period. Okay. It's just a matter of how much you can take. This friendship might have been rocky from the beginning, but I will say that Glen didn't take an iota of responsibility in that conversation, at least not what production put out there. And by the end of it, you would have thought he was like a damn child. Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. Nobody listens to me. Nobody appreciates me. Are you out of your mind? You brought that shit on yourself. You brought it on yourself. Okay. But it is interesting. It is interesting that he wants to be Cliff's friend, but he still wants to edge Latrice out. And that can't happen. That can't happen. In my opinion, you married, we couples friends. This is how we made it together. I'm not going to if my husband is no longer friends with someone in the couple, I have to pull back too. That's how gang works. Okay. But anyway, now we are at Selena's 50th birthday party. And the Belles are all dressed in black because that's the theme. Selena said, everybody got to come in black. And baby, them dresses those Belles had on were bad, okay? Carrie's dress, I loved. Marie's dress, I loved. I think Latrice's dress, I loved. Let me think about, I don't remember Tambra's dress for whatever reason, but them girls was looking hot, okay? But they are over there at Dolce, I believe that's what it's called, and everybody's arriving, okay? And Latrice arrives knowing that her enemies are there, right? Her husband's still over there in was it Dominican Republic or Colombia? I forget which one, but he's over there. And she says, listen, I'm here. I'm never going to miss Selena's birthday. Okay. My friend she looks good. In fact, Latrice said she looks amazing. I can't even tell she's 50. She looks good. Only thing that's changed about her is that she's a little thicker. And what do they say in the South? What do the men say? I like thick meat. I don't know. That I like thick meat. I don't know. I was howling. She looked so confused, like she had something she was going to say. But anyway, she comes in and she said her only plan when it comes to Tisha, Shantae, and Glen is to pay them heifers dust, okay? Including Glen. I'm paying all of y'all dust. Who cares, right? And when she comes in, Marie asked Latrice how she felt about Shantae addressing her, Shantae stepping to her and talking about Letitia. And Latrice says, listen, I know Tisha put her up to that. I know she did. Marie says she didn't. I promise you she didn't. And Latrice said, I don't believe it for a second because Tisha is the set up queen, okay? And then she proceeded to tell her about Letitia calling Josh for dirt, right? Her ex-employee for dirt. Marie says, that's hearsay. And Latrice said, that's for sure say, okay? Don't try to play me because I know that you're good friends with Letitia too. So you're going to have that lady's back no matter what. We just now getting good. And frankly, we may not be good for long because I told you the only time you act like you have some good sense is when you got a man, child. And right now we know your ass is single. So I'm going to play nice with you, but I'm not dumb. So that's how Latrice is playing it, right? And then Glen arrives, y'all. And when Glen gets there, he's not with his wife, Tisha, okay? Tisha says she got to work. Tisha doesn't even want to walk into the party with Glen. Even if he had to work, we can both get there late, dude. We don't have to. There's no reason for them to show up separate. I'm just pointing out what Letitia's doing here. Letitia's a hot ass mess. But Letitia said, in her confessional, I gotta work. In other words, he don't. I saw what you did there. I got a job to go to. Okay. I gotta pay the bills and take care of my son. All right. So if he wants to go, cool. I told him to leave the house. You don't have to go with me. So this man is sitting here with his little suit jacket on and, his shades. Y'all know how Glen does it. Glen thinks he's a fantastic Pepe Le Pew, okay? But anyway, when he walks in, he is all smiles. He acts like he is literally a rapper for real coming in. Hey, what's up, what's up, what's up? He goes to where the Belles are and hugs every single one of the Belles separately, okay? One by one. Oh, hey, girl, love you, smiling in their face. And except for Latrice, Latrice is pulled back a little bit, and she's like dancing to music I can't hear. To music I can't hear on the screen, but she's looking at him every 5 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, is this motherfucker going to say something to me or no? And she's uncomfortable. She's uncomfortable. And then finally, the two of them make eye contact after he finished hugging another one of them. He makes eye contact and he gives her the coldest head nod. Like, and she went, that shit was funny. Oh my goodness, that was funny to me. I love stuff like this. I'm telling you now. But she gives him the deuces like, bitch. And then she says in her confessional, I'm happy that my husband is out of the country, okay? Because I don't want to run interference between him and Glen because I can't stand that motherfucker, okay? Tisha can kick dust, Shantae can kick dust, and Glen can kick double dust, okay? I don't like that motherfucker. That's how she's playing it. But anyway, I don't know if y'all saw that, how Glen did that head nod to her, but you sitting up here crying to another man about how you miss your friendship with him with that woman's husband, and it hasn't occurred to you that maybe you should apologize to her first. Apologize to her and say, listen, at the end of the day, this shit was all my fault. I shouldn't have been there. If Glen doesn't know to do that, he's not a solid person. Period. He's not a solid person. I don't like him either. He should have did that a long time ago. But I understand y'all got a show to film. Anyway, after that, who else comes in? Tisha finally shows up. So Tisha arrives, child. And you know how Tisha is. I got to go to, I just came in from work, right? And I think Selena pulls her aside because Selena is tickled by this entire Glen and Tisha thing. And she's like, girl, thank God you here. I asked Glen where you were. And she was like, and what'd he say? She was like, he said you coming. Listen, stuff that makes me laugh. I know I get tickled over the stupid stuff, but the way she said, he said you coming. I was like, girl, if you don't stop. But you can just tell that she's getting her life out of their little crazy energy, right? And so Tisha's making her way around the room. And she's in the corner. Glen eyeballs her child. And he goes trotting over because, again, he just wants to make people think they good, right? And the next thing you know, the camera catches Glen's profile. And that man puckered up them damn lips. And he bends down to kiss Tisha. And Keisha bends back like, give me 50 feet. And he said, what? And she said, what are you doing? And then he bends down to kiss her again. And she bends back. And everybody is paying attention to this shit. I kid you not. They are getting their life. And Glen, again, he's in confessional. He said, did my wife, Miss Tisha Pearson, just pull back on me when I tried to kiss this woman? And she said, we don't kiss at home. We're not kissing here. Okay? We don't kiss at home. We're not kissing here. And then she said, he knows that I am uncomfortable. I don't know why he wants to play like we good. I'm not doing it. Okay, I'm just going to keep it real. Well, does he know your ass is keeping it real? Because I do feel like he's getting a mixed signal, Tisha. I don't think he would have pulled up on you to kiss your lip or your cheek or whatever he was reaching in for if he thought you was going to pull away from him, because he don't want to be embarrassed either. He's good and embarrassed right now. You said good for her. Embarrass his ass. Who's being manipulative? Are you saying that Glen's being manipulative? Well, he doesn't seem to know. I don't know. So this is weird. In episode 2, we are in episode 2. And when I tell you Tisha is tearing this man's ass off, she is tearing him off. Why he feel like he can fake it in front of the cameras, I don't know. When I think that he was legit embarrassed. And I could tell by the way she pulled back, because even Carrie was on the side, like, what is happening? What is happening with y'all? But it was funny. Anyway, she pulls back and she tells him, yeah, we're not doing this, okay? we're not going to pretend like everything's good if we're not good. So now the Belles are sitting in a round table. This includes Tisha and Latrice. This includes Tisha and Latrice. And you could tell, at least I could, that Letitia wanted to have some type of interaction with Latrice, right? She wants to say something to her. She's trying to be good energy, like she's smiling. She's not coming across angry. And again, Latrice is sitting at the end of this couch and she's doing like this, like, I'm pretending to be a part of the circle, but at the same time, I'm real good not engaging any of y'all, especially you, okay? But Tisha finally thinks of something to say. And she went, "Thank you for my flowers," right? "Thank you for my flowers." Again, still not connecting. Yellow flowers, fake fake friend. But she says, "Thank you for my flowers." And Latrice says, "Oh, you're welcome." "Oh, you're welcome." So she's like, "Bitch, you didn't even catch it. So I'm about to throw the shade at you one more time." And she went, "Yeah, but you got them from the Dollar Tree though." And as soon as she says it, Latrice's face just goes blank, like she's Kanye West. Y'all remember those old videos where Kanye would be smiling and then his shit would just go flat? She did the exact same thing. She was sitting there smiling, "You're welcome." Then she just turned her head to the side and start bopping and dancing one more time. I was like, "Girl, you still don't get it. You still don't get it." Anyway, after that, wait till they get to the reunion. After that, we have the speech. Okay, Latrice said she was gonna pay Letitia dust, and she straight up paid her dust when she called them damn flowers Dollar Tree flowers. We ain't having no back and forth, bitch. You got the flowers. So now we have the speech. Selena gives her birthday speech, and she's standing there with her red sequence dress on, looking fine, okay? And Mike comes over, he hands her this gift, telling her that he loves her and everything. And he pulls out this sparkly necklace. I don't know if it was diamonds, I can't say for sure, but he put something around her neck that sparkled, child. And she was real happy about it. She also announces her wedding date. She said, "Y'all, the wedding is April 4th, 2026. And a lot of my wedding party is already here, mixed and mingled." However, she had two more people that were supposed to participate in her wedding. And she hands the boxes out in front of all the Belles. And the boxes went to Tambra, and it also went to Latrice. And I expected the boxes to go to them. Nobody else seemed upset, Carrie or Marie or any of the other ones that were sitting there. They were fine. But they asked Letitia in confessional how she felt about not getting a box and not being asked to be a participant in the wedding. And Letitia says, "Well, I wasn't expecting a box, even though I've known her the longest. I wasn't expecting a box. We're just not that close." And I thought that was, I don't know why production asked her that question. And I don't know if, there was some other energy there, but that happens. Anyway, Selena said that she was having a grand old time at her party. She said, "I was having so much fun that I wanted to spread the love, child." So she ends up asking everybody to go outside. And I think that everybody was in such a good place that they probably were thinking that it was no big deal. You know what I'm saying? So all the girls go outside. Do y'all like my shirt? This is my Black History Month shirt. All the girls go outside, and basically that's where it gets to popping. Selena says that, she wants to call a kumbaya. Anybody who has a problem, she wants them to get over it, right? Because we're Belles, right? We're Belles, and this is it's a disruption to the collective. Anyway, Tisha, who, like I said, Tisha was giving me energy that she wanted to kill the beef between her and Latrice. So Tisha says, "Listen, this is her olive branch. Treese, I want you to know that that shit Shantae pulled at Carrie's party, stepping to you the way she did. She said, I'm gonna hook y'all up. She said, I didn't have anything to do with that. I didn't tell her to do it. I was not expecting her to do it. And just so you know where I stand, I checked her. I checked her for doing it. Okay. When the party was over, I did pull her aside and tell her I didn't appreciate that shit. Because one thing about me, if I have something to say to you, I will do it and I will say it to your face. Okay. And when she says that, Latrice looks at her and she said, okay. And people start asking, well, what do you think about it? And Latrice says, I think everything you said was bullshit. Every word that came out your mouth, okay? And then Letitia just kind of pauses. She was not expecting her to say that. She was expecting Latrice to say, I accept, or whatever those things are, because she wants Latrice to be in the same place that she is. She really is hurt that their relationship is broken up and probably really want to, start it back up again. But Latrice isn't there anymore. Latrice isn't there yet. I'm going to hook y'all up, I promise. But Latrice says, and if that wasn't enough, Heifer, I know for a fact that you called my ex-employee Josh to get dirt on me. And when she says that, I mean, in my opinion, I thought that Letitia went too hard too soon. Because she was like, that's a damn lie. What I gotta call your ex-boy? Because usually when people say stuff like that, you'll be like, well, where did you hear that? Why? I mean, that would be my first question. Like, no, I didn't. Who would tell you something like that? But she just immediately says, you a damn lie. I didn't do that. No, no, no. Like she is screaming. Boom, 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 boom. And then Latrice is screaming the same shit. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I know it for a fact. You called several of my ex-employees, not just Josh. Okay. So she was going, going, going. And then one more time, because Treese is sitting there, because now Treese realizes, you know what? I'm not going to let this have a railroad me. And Letitia asked her one more time, why would I do that? And Latrice yells back, cause you did. Bitch. Okay, cause you did. And she calls her out her name. And then all of a sudden you just see a boof, a boof, a boof. Latrice is like, Letitia's coming over like boom. It took about 5 of them. They was all like, no, 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 no. They all grabbed that girl and Tree's still standing there. I'm like, girl, you better back your ass up. But she's still standing there, and that is how it ends. You see little Tambra jump in front of Latrice, like, oh my God, no, no, no. But yeah, that's how the episode ended. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the way I don't think she answered the question right, because if you say something that is incomprehensible, you would ask, girl, who told you that nonsense? Especially if you're trying to be apologetic to someone. Like, I'm sorry, girl. It might have sounded like Shantae was speaking for me, but she was not. And I checked her. Okay. Now I know we ain't 100% cool, but I'm not that ugly. I'm not doing that dirty shit now. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't. So that gave me, in my opinion, even though I asked y'all to take the poll, in my opinion, I think she did it. Okay. But I'm gonna see what you guys had to say, because y'all know we do a poll over here. We do a poll over here. Let me get the poll up. Okay, hold on, hold on. Okay, so I just asked y'all a simple question, child. I said, do you think Letitia reached out to Latrice's ex-employees with an S, not just Josh, but a couple of them to get dirt on her? And 71% of y'all said, of course she did. Payback is a mother effer. 18% of y'all said, absolutely not. And 10% said, I'm nosy. I just want to see what the rest of y'all were talking about, okay? So yes, listen, I absolutely think that she reached out to Josh. I do believe that. I do believe it. Let me put my picture back up here. Latrice is giving energy like she has proof that Letitia is being fake and doing things behind her back. So like I said, this is real interesting because when it started, y'all know last season, Latrice was crying. She was real heartbroken about Letitia. And then I think you start rolling the scenes through your head like your husband is here, because y'all remember she said something like I saw Glen, you know, when he's here at my restaurant, how he's flirty and stuff with other women. So I think that it does bother you a little bit, right? But anyway, you guys, that's the review. That's the review. And thank y'all for coming over. Thank you to Miss Clone. I appreciate you for helping your sister out. Let's see, she called whoever she could find. I 1000% believe it. I think that's just the MO for all reality TV folk, okay? I think it was Nene and Phaedra who let it out the bag. You never win when you play dirty, okay? You calling my half sister? Hell, we don't get along, but that's still my blood. That's still my sister. And she told me everything you did, okay? So I appreciated that. Listen, you guys, so I have to do my spiel. If I can find my stuff. Here we go. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I was wondering what happened. Anyway, first off, I want to show y'all my shades, okay? These beautiful shades. If y'all are interested, there is a link in the chat for these shades in particular, okay? Hold on, let me get y'all the actual factuals on this information. Ciao. There's always something going on this doggone computer. It's crazy. So you should actually see a link for this Elisha Johnson, and they're called Jane sunglasses. You'll see them in the description box. You can either get these black pair right here, or there is a white frame pair as well. But I thought these were so cute. And I do want to point this out because, you know, for us, we don't always have like a real prominent bridge, because you see, I do not, but it's still cute. It's my nose. I would never change a child. I keep my oinker right here, the one that mama and daddy gave me. But these glasses are the bomb.com. These glasses are the bomb.com. Okay, so even if you don't have a real prominent bridge, because y'all can see the glasses don't have that little part there, they still work. They still work. So you can get yourself a pair of those. And then I also want to point out this product right here, the Rock Firming Stick, which I have been using for, I want to say 2 months now. I think this is my 2-month anniversary. Anyway, the job of the stick is to firm, tighten, lift the skin, smooth the skin as well. And it does work. It's been developed with plastic surgeons and dermatologists, and 94% of users see results. Okay, so if you want to give that a try, do that as well. Okay. Outside of that, you guys have been beautiful. I appreciate every single one of y'all for rocking with me. And yeah, until the next one, because I do have to drop the Married to Medicine review today, because I didn't get the last one out for Sunday. So I'll be getting that one before the next episode airs, just because I have to make a commitment to myself, you know what I'm saying, to get these done. So I will talk to you guys on the next one. Okay. Thank you guys. And thank you, Miss Ava. I appreciate you for blessing the channel, babe. Until next time, bye-bye.